Boom, boom. It's the Leo Be the Lion show. Boom, boom. Gonna tell you what you need to know. Boom, boom. Now here comes your boy Leo. Hey everybody, it's your boy Leo Be the Lion, and I'm coming to you live from my humble abode today because the StubCultureRadio.com studios are closed for renovations. Me, like a knucklehead, I forgot to pay attention to the WhatsApp messaging in the group chat. I'm one of those group chat members that doesn't pay attention sometimes and mutes the notifications. I know you're out there, so hey, it happens. That's how it happens. So it's your boy Leo Be the Lion, and I'm coming to you with a special episode 11 today of the Leo Be the Lion show. And we're going to be talking today about a lot of things: NFL, college football, my hashtag 5-pack of picks, and we're going to get into what I think about the Dolphins situation and what's going on with them. So we'll first talk about the quarter pole standings. It's been 4 games in the NFL, and traditionally out of a 16-game season, that's the quarter mark. So 17-game season, we'll call this the quarter mark still. We're going to revisit my preseason playoff previews for the NFC and the AFC, see how I've done, what teams I've kind of almost gotten right, what teams are looking good, and what teams that I thought were going to make the playoffs so far after 4 games don't look like they're going to make the playoffs. Then we'll be talking about college football. I'm going to be doing a college football recap as well. We're going to be talking mainly about FSU, what happened this weekend with them. Then we're going to talk about UF and UCF. Miami didn't have a game this week. They had a bye week, and I still can't believe they lost to Middle Tennessee State. That's something that has really broke my heart a little bit. And so now what we're going to talk about is the NFL news and notes. We're at the quarter pole season of the season, and I couldn't be more excited for the NFL. It's been one of those years so far where it's unpredictable. And just when you think a team, or you think a team's going to have this type of season, they do a 180 and do the exact opposite. So I'm excited to bring you these NFL news and notes of what I can bring to you and let you know my little insight of how I feel about the season so far after the first 4 games. The first quarter of the season is over. So like I said, it was a wild weekend, and the Finns lost last Thursday night, and it left me with more questions than answers. I think the Dolphins are the most unsure NFL team this year. Most unsure 3-1 NFL team. It feels like they're 3-1, but they're the shakiest ground to be 3-1. They are right there with the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Eagles, who are 4-0, right there in the tops of the league. But they feel the worst, the shakiest 3-1 start I think I've thought of. And we just got news today that Teddy Bridgewater or Skylar Thompson will be starting because Tua was officially ruled out for the Week 5 matchup against the New York Jets. This is a rivalry game. I'm excited for this game. It's going to be in New York at MetLife Stadium. And we'll be able to see if the Dolphins are still for real, what's going on with the Dolphins with their backup, see how the team responds to playing with their backup, and see how either Teddy Bridgewater, who's going to be the starter right now, how he performs, having a week to prepare, having time to prepare against the team instead of being thrust in as a second-string quarterback. So let's get into the defensive line part about the Dolphins. This defensive line has not been that good lately. Yeah, we've gotten a couple sacks. We're able to pressure the quarterback, able to get some pressure, but we haven't been able to get as many sacks as I like. Our D-line has stepped up in the red zone, but last game against the Bengals on the short week, I think it might have been the cause of being out there for 90 plays in week 4 and week 3 against the Bills. I think it was the cause of that was the reason why the defense looked shoddy in the third and fourth quarters and kind of fell off like a Big Mac topping. Shout out to McDonald's. I'm not sponsored by them, but I just want to say when I go to McDonald's, most of the time it's legit. All right. Anyways, we're also getting, I'm looking at my notes down here. I don't have the studio not like I normally do, but I just wanted to bring to you on the live stream. I thought it would be pretty cool. So if you want to check on me live stream, handle it. It's Leo B. The Lion Show. Let's do a quick little recap. Leo B. The Lion Show. You can follow me on Twitter at Leo B. The Lion Show and on IG at Leo B. The Lion Show. And every week on Mondays from 5 to 6, I bring you the latest in finance, football, and all different sports business with a South Florida flavor by me. That's Leo B. The Lion. So let's keep going with it. The Dolphins are expected to hopefully get Byron Jones back. If he can come back off of his little Achilles surgery and he can come back and be at 100%, that'll be a welcome addition to our secondary, to have our secondary at full strength, to have 2 All-Pros on the outside and one definite All-Pro and one almost All-Pro at the other safety in Brandon Jones and Javon Holland. We'll be able to take care of business. So then let's talk about the NFL. Another news and notes. The first game of the International Series was off this weekend, and it was being held in London, and it was against the Minnesota Vikings versus the New Orleans Saints. And in this game, it was a wild game in London. There are always weird games in London. You never know if you're going to get a high-scoring game or a low-scoring game or defensive battle or an offensive shootout. It's hard to tell because there's no truly home field. NFL teams are beloved by England, by Europeans, and by the teams. The main favorite teams are the Dolphins, the Giants. Those were the first 2 teams that played in London, and the first international game was held with the Dolphins versus the Giants in 2007. So the Saints lost this game 28-25 on a field goal that was a double doink. And when I say a double doink, imagine the field goals like this. The ball came, hit right here, and went off. And that spelled a loss for the Saints. They lost 28-25. They had a chance to tie the game. It was a 61-yarder to try and tie the game. And the more craziest part about it was Will Lutz, about 5 minutes earlier, had made a 60-yarder to tie the game. And now a 61-yarder just barely missed on a field goal from a double doink. Done. And that's how you lose a football game. And so the Saints are an underachievement at 1-3. I thought they were going to be in a better position after 4 games. And the Vikings offense is off to a great start. The Vikings are off to a great start. Actually, them being 3-1 have the Vikings thinking about the NFC North Division title early at the quarter pole of the season. Like I said, that double doink was crazy. That double doink was insane, yo. Thinking about that, I was like, how could that happen? If literally any other spot, because it was perfect, but if it literally was just the ball was going straight down the middle and then it faded slowly off and hit the side. So if it would have just been maybe a 60-yarder like the time before, it probably would have made a field goal and we would be talking about a different outcome or possible overtime for the Saints and Vikings at the International Series game in London. Now let's move back across the pond and talk about the domestic NFL football games that we saw this week and the interesting ones that I thought. The first game that I thought was an interesting play were the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Eagles, ladies and gentlemen, are rolling. The Jacksonville Jaguars were one of my picks. I don't think they were one of my hashtag 5-pack of picks, but they were one of my picks to pull an upset this weekend because the Jaguars have looked really good at the beginning of this year. And usually I like the AFC teams over the NFC, so I thought the Jaguars were going to come in and take care of business in Philly and win. But Philly spotted the Jaguars 14 points, and then they came back and won the game 29-21. Jalen Hurts balled out again. Miles Sanders is killing it with Nick Sirianni's coaching style. He ran the ball for 27 times for 134 yards and 2 TDs. And now in the NFC East, normally it's the NFC least, but it has 3 teams at 3-1. The Giants, two teams at 3-1, the Giants and the Cowboys, and then one undefeated team at 4-0 are the Eagles. And then you have the lowly Washington Commanders at 1-3. And I'll get back to that. I thought the Commanders were going to be my surprise team this year, but apparently they're not. So let's get into the next game in the NFL news and notes by your boy Leo B. the Lion. Follow me on Twitter and IG at Leo B. the Lion Show. Hashtag boom boom. Hashtag 5-pack of picks. Hashtag it's your boy Leo B. the Lion Show. All right, so we're going to talk about the Bills versus the Ravens today. The Bills won this game on a perplexing play. I think they won it when Jim Harbaugh decided to go for it. John Harbaugh, decided to go for it on 4th down from the 3-yard line instead of letting Justin Tucker kick this easy chip shot field goal to go up 23-20. And instead, Harbaugh left 2 minutes and something left on the clock. The Bills drove down the field and kicked a game-winning field goal with time expiring to win 23-20. John Harbaugh, you need to be examined. You blew that game. You got too cute. You thought Lamar Jackson could make it from 3 yards, and yes, he can. But the play that they drew up was a straight drop back play, no play action, no bootleg, no rollout, no type of action on the play. It was just a straight drop back. Lamar couldn't find anyone open. Then he had to throw a ball into the end zone that got intercepted. So the Bills got the ball on their own 20, and then were able to drive all the way down to inside the 5-yard line of the Baltimore Ravens, and the Bills kicked the field goal. But also another dumb play, another hashtag come on, man, play by the Ravens is after on defense, there was about 1:45 left. And with 1:45 left, the Ravens could have let the Eagles score on purpose, so make it 27-20, but at least the Ravens would have the ball with one timeout left to be able to try and tie the game and bring it into overtime. I'm happy. It was a good game between these two teams. I really thought that the Ravens were going to pull it out and win the game. However, they did cover the 3.5. I thought that they were going to win the game. I believe more in Lamar Jackson than I do Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen isn't accurate enough. I feel like if you can really get him off his spot, he's not able to see what's going on. He's not able to be as accurate in those clutch moments. We saw it in Miami when he played it against the Dolphins. He was at 4th down in the red zone, and he was unable to stop, or he was unable to get the ball to a wide open receiver in the front corner of the end zone. He shorted him. He changed his receiver. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, everybody says Tua can't get the ball downfield. Well, Josh Allen one-hopped the ball to his wide receiver from 5 yards away. So don't tell me about Josh Allen. Yeah, he puts up big numbers, but if that doesn't get you the win, what does it matter? But respect to the Bills. They got the win against the Ravens. The Ravens almost shot themselves in the foot twice, basically, by not going forward on that by not going for the field goal on 4th down when you were inside the red zone of the Bills. And then, in turn, not letting the Bills score with 1:45 left and one timeout so you could have a chance to give Lamar the ball back and give the Ravens offense a chance to win the game. John Harbaugh, you are the blame for this, and you got out-coached. You got too cute. You tried to go for it on 4th down, and the Ravens lost to the Bills 23-20. Those plays can come back to haunt you. So now we have the next play, the next game that I was surprised by in this week, in week 4 of the NFL, were the New York Jets versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I thought this was going to be easy cakewalk for the Steelers. Yeah, Zach Wilson came back. I really thought this was going to be an easy game for the Steelers, but the Jets are surprising people. I got to hand it to the Jets. I wrote down on my notes, are the Jets good? Like, are they good? I don't know. I really don't know if the Jets are good yet. They're 2-2. Yeah, they're talking a big game. They're executing when they need to, but they've beaten the Steelers and they beat some other team. I forget who they beat. It wasn't that really good of a team. So, are the Steelers overrated? I really think once TJ Watt went down with that pectoral, the defense hasn't been the same. I really think the Steelers might be overrated, coming in at 1-3 after 4 games. Seems like they can't get out of their own way. Besides that overtime victory where against the Bengals, when the Bengals missed 2 field goals to win the game. They had 2 chances to win the game. They missed 2 field goals, and then the Steelers got a chance and finally won the game. So I really think that the Steelers are going to be one of those teams that are in rebuilding mode. They seem to be 1-3. I don't think they're going to dig themselves out of this hole. And while Kenny Pickett did get into the game after Mitch Trubisky was pulled, he still threw 3 INTs, and he did score a rushing touchdown, but he did throw 3 INTs, so that's kind of interesting. Wilson, his first game back, a pretty solid game. 252, 2 TDs, 1 rushing, 1 passing, and 2 INTs. That means he could still throw the picks, ladies and gentlemen. And if he can throw the picks, the Dolphins are going to be like sharks in the water. We're going to be dolphins in the water, and we're going to be taking care of business against the New York Jets. We're going to ground the Jets this week, coming up Sunday, October, coming up. And we're going to have a great day against the Jets, I hope. The next and final game that I want to talk about that happened was yesterday night. The Chiefs 41 versus the Bucks 31, and it was 41-31. Chiefs won the game. The Bucks were outmatched in this game. The Chiefs at one point were up by 21 points. I think they were up by 28-17 at halftime, but they were up 28-10, and then they were at one point up 21 when they was 41-17. They were up by a lot. So I can't do math right now for some reason. Forgive me, ladies and gentlemen. So the Chiefs are the team to beat in the AFC. The Chiefs, although you got the Bills at 3-1, you got the Ravens at 2-2, you got the Dolphins at 3-1. The Chiefs are at 3-1, and until you can dethrone those guys, the Chiefs, yeah, the Bengals did it last year, but until you can prove you got a better record than Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs, I think, are going to be, I believe, are the team to beat in the AFC. Tom Brady's offense in Tampa is kind of broken. They're 2-2, but they're kind of broken because he still has the arm. But I don't like what I'm seeing out of these dink and dunk passes. He's not really taking lots of shots. I thought that Mike Evans would be getting more targets. Chris Godwin, he's nursing the injury, would be getting more targets. But he threw a lot of his targets and maybe they were taking away those shots, but he threw a lot of his targets to tight end and running back. And I know that's probably what Tom Brady's used to, but he's on a second-string tight end because Brady went down with a concussion last night in a concussion protocol. And Leonard Fournette doesn't really get you those yak yards on those receiving. And he has a new guy, his last name is White, who is a good running back. And so we'll see if he can develop something. But right now, the Bucs offense is broken. Since Tom Brady's got there, this is the worst 4-game stretch of his career with the Bucs. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire is kicking butt. He seems to be taking over that jackknife role, the jack of all trades role with the Chiefs. He can get you 8. He's really fast. Get you quick 8 yards on first down. He did that multiple times last night. And he can also catch the ball out of the backfield. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the spark plug in addition to Travis Kelce. Mahomes to Kelce, they make it look easy. They make it look like it's literally just them out there on the field when Mahomes is thrown into Kelce. Some of those passes last night where Kelce was catching them were unguardable. You can do your best as a corner, best as a safety to be on Travis Kelce, But when Patrick Mahomes literally puts the ball behind Kelsey and at his knees, you can't catch that. Only Kelsey could try to catch that, and that's what happened. Now let's get to the quarter pole preseason revisit. It's been 4 games so far in the NFL with just Monday night left to go, and I hope that all you Jets fans are paying attention, because I really think that the Jets are doing great this year. And so I don't like to say that as a Dolphins fan, but I do like to acknowledge get while the getting's good. You know what I'm saying? So I do like to acknowledge a good team when it's playing well and surprising some people. The Jets look like to be doormats again this year, and they've won 2 games so far. But my AFC predictions for my playoff teams in this order were the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Colts, the Dolphins with the first wild card, the Chargers with the second wild card, and the Steelers with the third wild card. Right now, the Bills are 3-1. You got the Chiefs at 3-1 also, so they're kind of right there. Then you got the Ravens 2-2. The Colts pick doesn't look that good. I think it might be the Titans division, or the Jaguars might fight for that, because the Colts right now are 1-2-1. Then you have the Dolphins in the wild card at 3-1. I like that. Even though right now, if the season ended today, the Dolphins would actually be the 1 seed. And I'm excited about that. I hope that Tua can come back healthy and can stay healthy the rest of the season. I'm really hoping that can happen, because my prediction of 12-5 can come true, especially when I had the Dolphins losing twice to the Bills, and they've already beaten the Bills once. Let's go Dolphins. Then the Chargers, who are 2-2, and then the pick that probably looks the worst right now after 4 games is the Steelers getting in the wild card, the last wild card spot. The Steelers right now are 1-3, and they don't look that hot after losing to the Jets yesterday. And they haven't looked that great in their losses, and they didn't look that great in their win also at the beginning of the year against the Bengals in overtime. For the NFC, here are my NFC playoff predictions that I had in the preseason. We're just revisiting them since it's been 4 games, the quarter of the way through the NFL season. On the Leo Be the Lion show, we're going to talk about, here it is, the NFL preseason playoff teams that I thought, and we'll discuss what you guys think of them. We got the Packers, Arizona, the Cardinals, the Saints, the Commanders, the Rams, the Cowboys, and Tampa Bay Bucks. And so the 1 seed Packers right now are looking good at 3-1. You'll notice there's a team, well, I'll just say it, the Eagles aren't on this list. At the beginning of the year, the preseason, I didn't think the Eagles were going to be that good. I kind of thought they would be overrated, and I thought that the NFC East would be up for grabs. So I picked the Commanders to win the NFC East, and I thought that would be the second and I thought the Cowboys would be the wild card team come out of it. But now it looks like the Eagles and the Giants are like, not so fast, my friends. The Eagles and the Giants are looking good. I'd say the 2 best teams coming. Well, the Eagles for sure. They're undefeated so far. But it's going to be, looks like a battle between the Cowboys and the Giants for second place and ultimately try to get a wild card spot in the NFC. The Packers are 3-1, doing all right. Arizona, I had them being the 2 seed, but they're 2-2 right now. They've lost against a couple teams, but also they almost lost to the 1-3 Raiders, and in overtime because of heroics by Kyler Murray and the Cardinals offense. And then we have the Saints. They're also disappointing me. The Saints are underachieving this year. They have so many weapons on offense. They have a decent defense with Cameron Jordan, and they have Chris Olave on offense. They have Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, but their only issue is at quarterback. Jameis Winston isn't doing it, and also Taysom Hill and Andy Dalton, they're just kind of like Band-Aids on the situation. They're not real cures to the quarterback position. So it's kind of tough. Saints are in a tough position after getting that Week 1 win against the Atlanta Falcons, coming back to win the game. The Saints have not been able to win a game since, and they sit at 1-3. Then we have the Rams. I thought the Rams would be the 5 seed. They're 2-1 right now. They're playing tonight on Monday Night Football against the 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers. And the Rams are poised right now to go 3-1. Their defense is looking stronger than ever. Their offense is clicking on all cylinders. I really think the Rams should beat the 49ers tonight because the 49ers have a banged-up O-line. Kittle's coming back. However, he'll probably have to block more because of Trent Williams being out for the 49ers. And you'll see that the Rams defense can stop Garoppolo, and I don't think that Garoppolo can have much success against this Rams defense because all-world, maybe greatest defensive lineman ever, Aaron Donald, is going to put a stop to that. Then I had the Cowboys being my 6th seed. So far, they're 3-1. The Cowboys are doing all right with their two-headed monster, Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. They've been able to, with the Dak injury, Cooper Rush has actually been able to come in and win his starts. And the only loss the Cowboys had was when Dak Prescott started on opening day and was able to, and Cooper Rush had to be thrust into the game, and he wasn't able to do it. But now, when he had a whole week to prepare, Cooper Rush showed what he could do. He beat the Bengals in overtime, and he was able to get these wins these past 2 weeks and move the Cowboys to 3-1. And I know Jerry Jones is happy. How about them Cowboys? And then I had Tampa Bay Bucks getting the 7th seed, and they're right now at 2-2. So I think that's not bad, not good. When you're at 500 after the first 4 games, that's kind of what I thought the Dolphins would be at. I thought the Dolphins could have a chance against the the Bengals and the Patriots, and then I kind of chalked up 2 losses to the Ravens and the Bills, so they've surprised me. And, of course, you always believe, you hope in your highest of hope that your team is going to win, but, you have to be realistic sometimes if you're going to be able to be logical and not live or die with every week that your team plays. So go Dolphins, but let's be real out here in the streets. Now, let's get into another topic, which is college football. I'm going to be talking about a few games in college football that happened from the state of Florida with state of Florida teams. So let's talk about FSU. FSU right now was going to be a real deal Holyfield, 5-0. They had the chance going up against Wake Forest, and Wake Forest was also 4-0. And Wake Forest proved that Wake Forest's passing game and their defense is better than FSU. Wake Forest was able to get the big play on FSU's defense. I was talking to a friend before the game. Shout out to my boy Eddie. I was talking to him, and he said he thinks that the FSU game was going to go under and the FSU defense was going to step up. Well, when it mattered most, the FSU defense did not step up, and that was something I was disappointed in because I really thought that they had taken a step up. And so, but what I found out after watching that game is that Wake Forest is legitimate on offense. They are the real deal Holyfield on offense. They can sling the football and run the ball, and they're try to stop us. And also, I'm a little disappointed in FSU. I was getting behind them. They were 4-0. I really thought they could come in and be the class of the ACC and try to vie for an ACC title. They still can do that. They still have all the goals in front of them. However, I'm just not sure that they can compete with the big boys. They got Clemson later in the year. Still got Florida later in the year. Miami later in the year. So let's see what Florida State will be. Now, moving south a little bit from Tallahassee, we're going to go down to Central Florida, and that is to Orlando to see about the UCF game. Well, due to Hurricane Ian, the UCF game was postponed from Saturday at 3:30 to Sunday at 1 p.m. After seeing Hurricane Ian slow down and a lot of the damage that was happening to Orlando and the surrounding areas, they decided to move the game to Wednesday at 3:30, I believe. Wednesday in the afternoon, I believe, at some time. And so I was going to go to that game. It was family weekend, and I was going to go to that game, and I was really excited. But if it comes to people's safety and it comes to helping out those who were affected by Hurricane Ian, I'm all about it. Hashtag charge on. Hashtag night family. Let's go. Charge on, baby. But I think this is going to be an easy win for UCF. SMU is kind of on the ropes if they're a good team or not. I think this might be a good win for UCF, but don't sleep on the Mustangs. They always have a good offense and can prepare for shootouts, but then, just don't sleep on the SMU Mustangs. Let's go Knights, #charge on. And then the last game that I want to talk about in college football was Alabama versus Arkansas. I really thought Arkansas was different this year, that they were going to prove that they could hang with the big boys in the SEC, sort of like how FSU was. But sort of like FSU, Arkansas forgot that there was a game. They didn't show up to play. They weren't sharp. Alabama won the game against Arkansas in Fayetteville, Arkansas, 49-26. Bryce Young got injured in the third quarter when Arkansas was down, and the Crimson Tide didn't miss a beat. The Crimson Tide are rolling. It looks like one of those years that although they had a close game against Texas, they were able to take care of business and finish the game, win the game, and now they are rolling. It's like if you can cover against the Crimson Tide, you're doing something right. But I think the Tide are going to be favorite in every game going forward, probably double-digit favorites in every game that they play for the rest of the year, except maybe the SEC tournament, or if they have to somehow play Texas again, but I don't see that happening. So I don't think they can be stopped. They're college playoff football bound. And we saw Georgia barely beat Mizzou. Georgia got out of there with just a win and by the skin of their teeth. So I hope that if Georgia and Alabama play for the SEC championship, I hope that Georgia can hang with Alabama, at least make it competitive. So now we'll go into my 5-pack of picks, #5-pack of picks. And we will talk about how I did. I was 12-10-2 going into this weekend, and I had NC State plus 6.5 versus Clemson. NC State lost by 10, so that's an L. FSU -6 against Wake Forest. FSU lost by 10, so that's an L. Ugh. Dolphins +3 against the Bengals on Thursday night. The Dolphins lost by 12, so that's a this has been a bad week for Leo's #5-pack of picks. Then I had the Jags plus 6.5 against the Eagles. The Eagles spotted the Jags, and the Jags were up 14-0 in the first quarter, and they lost the game by 8 points. So I lost that too. And then the Ravens, I took 3 in the hook against the Bills, and I won that game. So I went 1-4 on my #5-pack of picks, and I'm disappointed this week. None of the games went how I wanted them to go. They went sideways, and the fact that I went 1-4, it's almost crazy as going 4-1, and it brought my record to 13-14-2, something I'm not proud of. Let's use these upcoming 5 picks to get back over 500. I look forward to doing it. I want to go on a 4-1 win or 5-0 streak this week. And this week we'll be taking you to Kansas. We're going to be first pick in the 5-pack of picks is TCU versus Kansas. I like the under 67.5. Kansas has been having shootouts, Big 12 shootouts every game. They're 5-0 for the first time since 2009. However, TCU, if you know anything about TCU, they're going to bring the defense. And I really like TCU's defense to show up in this game and keep Kansas's offense low and see what Kansas's defense and test Kansas's defense. Kansas on last Saturday played Iowa State in Kansas as well. And Kansas won the game 14-11, so that was definitely an under over the weekend. This game is 67.5. I see TCU's defense holding Kansas to a low point, but hopefully Kansas will remain undefeated. They'll move to 6-0. First pick in the 5-pack of picks is TCU versus Kansas under 67.5. So now we'll move to the next game on my #5-pack of picks, and that is FSU plus 3.5 against NC State. Both teams were undefeated, and now they're coming off a loss. They're both 4-1. NC State is going to be ranked, but FSU is unranked. It's in North Carolina, and let's see if FSU's running game can get off against NC State against the Wolfpack, because NC State couldn't stop Clemson's running attack, and Clemson's running attack with DJ Uiagalelei and I can't remember Clemson's running back, but they ran for a combined 145 yards on the ground and 2 TDs. So hopefully FSU can keep it close, possibly win the game outright. I like FSU plus 3 in the hook against NC State. Now let's move to the program, move to the NFL on Leo's hashtag 5-pack of picks, and that is the Dolphins minus 3 in the hook against the Jets. I like this pick because I really think that the Dolphins are going to bounce back, even though they have a backup quarterback, and they're going to be able to show that they're going to be a move to a true 4-1 fashion. So I think the Dolphins minus 3.5 against Zach Wilson and the Jets. Let's go Dolphins. Hashtag fins up, baby. Now let's move to our fourth pick. Fourth pick in a 5-pack of picks is the New York Football Giants against the Green Bay Packers. New York Giants plus 8 points. I really think that this game is going to come down to the wire. The Packers barely beat a second and third string quarterback in the Patriots, and now the Giants are probably going to have a second or third string quarterback play, but that really doesn't matter because Saquon Barkley is the offense. Get the ball in Saquon Barkley's hands. Let him show out against the Jets. And the Packers look beatable. Definitely, if the Giants have been, I think the Giants have had an underrated defense this year. So let's see if the Giants can get after Aaron Rodgers and keep the game close. Let Saquon Barkley wear down the Packers defense and break one off at the end of the game to win the game. So I'll take the Giants plus 8 against the Packers. Now, last pick in my hashtag 5-pack of picks is the New Orleans Saints to bounce back from a 1-3 record, minus 4 against the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle has to come all the way east to play in New Orleans, so it's going to be that travel, the time difference. Also, Seattle is not going to have that home field advantage, that 12th man. Geno Smith has been playing great at home. Let's see what he can do on the road in the hostile dome environment where the New Orleans Saints play great at home. Let's see what the Saints can do. And let's see if either Jameis Winston or Andy Dalton can bounce back and get the W against the Seahawks. So for my recap of my hashtag 5-pack of picks, Leo Be the Lions, hashtag 5-pack of picks on the Leo Be the Lion show is TCU versus Kansas, under 67.5. FSU laying 3.5 against NC State. To the pro game, the Dolphins laying 3.5 against the Jets. The Giants taking the 8 points against the Packers, and the Saints minus 4 against the Seahawks. And with those picks, I just want to say that if you ever want to follow me, I'm on Twitter and IG, Leo Be the Lion Show, and on YouTube at Leo Be the Lion. Feel free to debate with me any picks. If you can subscribe, or share my videos, I would love that. I would really appreciate it, guys. I want to get the word out there that I'm always going to be talking about that South Florida flavor, coming to you live from West Palm Beach, Florida. And always, you can count on those hashtag 5-pack of picks, hashtag boom boom, and have a great week, everybody. It's your boy Leo Be the Lion signing out. Have a great week.